Joseph Parker, the Big Uso, will be making his return to the ring very soon, my people. That's because the Anti-Doping Association, UK Anti-Doping Association, VADA, whatever they call themselves, have finally lifted the ban on the Big Uso, Joseph Parker, and he'll be making his return. It has been announced. Now, you already know, Joseph Parker was found to have traces of cocaine in his system after his defeat against Fabio Wardley back in October 2025. He was then banned by the UK anti-doping agency, so he wasn't allowed to fight or anything like that, or even train, I think, in a gym or whatever. So he's been out the whole time. Now, let me make it clear, Joseph Parker, the Big Uso, has always denied deliberately or intentionally taking cocaine. Yeah, he's always maintained his innocence, and you know, the whole thing was that it was contamination. You know, I think I heard his manager or someone else from his team come out and say that the whole thing was contamination. Joseph Parker will never intentionally take cocaine. And you know what? Yeah, listen, man. Listen, I don't know Joseph Parker personally, but just looking at, you know, the guy's character, the way he conducts himself, you know, on camera, in interviews, during, you know, fight week, you know, in the press conferences, the respect he has for his opponents. You know, I always found it a little bit strange that he would do something to jeopardize himself in the biggest stage, you know, because that fight against Fabio Wardley, that was basically the final eliminator for the WBO title. You know, the winner would have fought Usyk. We already know Fabio Wardley won the fight, and then Usyk dropped the belt, and then Fabio Wardley got, you know, elevated to full champion. So there was a lot at stake for Joseph Parker in that fight against Fabio Wardley. So I always thought it was a bit strange that he would jeopardize himself, because taking cocaine, I don't know, man. I think I've heard some people say it does help you, and then I've heard some other people say it goes against you. So why would you be stupid enough to even take something like that on the night of the fight? It just don't make sense. The whole thing just seems strange. You know, listen, if there's any scientist watching this video right now, anyone that knows drugs and everything like performance enhancement drugs and whatever, recreational drugs, let me know in the comments, man. Does cocaine actually enhance your performance? Like, does it make you fight better? I don't know, like adrenaline, whatever it is, just let me know. Let me know in the comments, man, because, you know, educate me, because I'm a bit ignorant when it comes to like that particular drugs. Obviously, I know about the other peds and what they could do to the human body and, you know, obviously enhance your performance. But it was always strange for me the way Joseph Parker, you know, just popped for cocaine. Like, it just didn't make no sense. But listen, I'm happy for the Big Uso. He's back. He can resume his career. Happy days for him. And listen, man, I've looked at his Instagram, and one thing about Joseph Parker, what I like, he stayed active. You know what I mean? This is just a post from Joseph Parker himself, sharing it with DAZN, just confirming that the ban has been lifted. He's cleared. Joseph Parker cleared to fight again. Statement released with suspension lifted. So he was suspended, the suspension lifted. He's cleared to fight again. But like I was saying, what I like about Joseph Parker, he always stayed active, man. You know, even with the ban, I always saw him going for runs, training in the gym, hitting the pads. So, you know, he never, you know, like just dropped off, you know, like some fighters, they're on a ban and they just, they drop off, you know what I mean? They start, you know, like eating crazy and gain weight, but nah, Joseph Parker stayed active. I think I even saw Joseph Parker training with Tyson Fury or something. He was going for rounds with Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury was preparing for his fight against Madrimov. Not Madrimov, so against, not Madrimov, against Mahmudov, sorry, yeah, that's the name. When Tyson Fury was preparing for Mahmudov, I saw Joseph Parker was in that camp as well, helping him prepare, etc., etc. So he's always staying in good nick. And like I said, man, he's coming back at exactly the right time, innit? Because right now, the heavyweight division, do you know what I mean? He's in good shape. Alexander Usyk had dropped all the belts. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a new IBF champion, the winner of Atauma versus Hrgovic. Joseph Parker might even jump in that mix. You know what I mean? You just never know. There's other new champions. Kabayao, Dubois is a champion. You know, Gassiev, Murat Gassiev is a champion. So listen, man, Joseph Parker, how old is he? 34? He's back right in the mix, man. Trust me, make no bones about it. Joseph Parker, the big Uso, he's back in the mix and he can just pick up. Obviously, look, he's going to have a warm-up fight, get that ring rust off because it's been out for almost a year, so it's not easy. He's not going to go back in a big fight. Trust me, he's going to get a little warm-up fight out in Australia, New Zealand, whatever, a 10-rounder, 8-rounder, whatever, just to, get the cobwebs off and then pick up from where he's left off. And I'm sure this time next year, you might see Joseph Parker in the title fight, man. Or even earlier than that. But it just depends, how things go and, whoever promoter he's with. So we're going to see. But one thing I did want to say, though, is, and this is, nothing to do with Joseph Parker in particular. I just want to talk about boxing as a sport and the problem it has with drugs, enhancement, PEDs, performance enhancement drugs or whatever, recreational drugs, whatever. My problem is this is what I don't really like about boxing, yeah? And I want to keep it real. You know me, it's Enzo, the realist in the game. I want to keep it real. There has to be more transparency in boxing. The governing bodies, the people who run boxing, who are in charge of boxing, need to be way more transparent. There has to be more clarity, better communications, yeah? Just involving the fans, man. When it comes to drug findings, when it comes to investigations, when it comes to bans, we need to know as fans exactly what's going on. Maybe not the legalities, the nitty-gritty of things, but at least on the surface, let us know what exactly, these fighters are banned for. What exactly the investigations resulted in. What did you find when you investigated? What was the results? Did the fighter deliberately take the substance? Did they not? Was it contamination? We need to know these things as boxing fans, because otherwise we will have no trust in these fighters or the people who are running the sport. Do you know what I mean? It just breaks that trust between the fans and the actual sport. And that can't be good for the fighters, man. It can't be good, because me as a boxing fan, I can't be sitting here and watching a fighter who's just failed a drugs test and then they're back in a ring a year later, and I'm sitting there wondering, are they still taking it? What actually happened to that investigation? Have they still got traces in their system? What happened? Did they deliberately cheat? We need to know these things, so there has to be better transparency, and I'm talking about across the board. This is nothing to do with Joseph Parker. I'm talking everybody, because I'm tired of hearing a fighter gets popped for PEDs or whatever else, they go silent for a year, then they pop back up. And all of a sudden, everything is goody-goody, it's good to go. Everything is swept under the carpet. We don't get no information as to what findings they got from the investigation. We don't know what deals these fighters done behind the scenes. Every time I hear the fighters or the governing bodies speak, is always it's legal stuff. We can't really, talk about it on camera. This is I'm just, listen, man, it has to stop, man. It has to stop, man. The fans buy the pay-per-views. The fans pay to get into these arenas. The fans, the fans fund the sport. Without the fans, there is no boxing. These fighters won't be making the money that they're making if without the support of the fans, man. So there has to be way more clarity, way more transparency from these people who are running boxing. Otherwise, you just lose the trust, man. And once the trust is gone, it's gone. We wanna make sure that every fight is clean. We wanna know that every fight, whichever level, all these guys are clean. We don't want question marks on people, man. And it's not fair on these fighters, because they'll go out there and there'll be people still doubting them. There'll be question marks on them, and there'll be people thinking, are they still on it? Do you know what I mean? Are they clean? If I'm a professional fighter, I wouldn't want that on me. Maybe the fighters themselves have to take accountability and maybe release that information, just make it public. That way, at least we know, you're done, you're clean. Every time a fighter gets popped, they go silent. They don't say nothing. It's like the legal team tells them, don't talk, don't say nothing, and then pop back out after a year. I mean, come on, man. It's silly, man. We need way more transparency, man. That's what boxing is lacking. Transparency, People talk about corruption in boxing. Mate, it's just crazy. It's just getting silly, man. That's all I want to see. I just want to see transparency in the sport that I love watching. And also, I'm a coach. I'm an amateur boxing coach, yeah? And, you know, my kids want to box. Like, sometimes I see things like this, I'm like, you know what, nah, my kids ain't going to box. Because I'm like, yo, fighters are getting popped right, left, and center, yeah? Then they're getting allowed to fight. They're allowed to fight after 8 months, 12 months of staying silent, of doing a course or whatever. Then they can fight again. I don't want my child fighting some guy who's been popped multiple times and they keep getting let back into the sport. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to stop. It's crazy, man. Like, for me personally, if you get popped once, okay, you deserve it. You can get a second chance with good behavior. You clean your system out and you do some programs, cool. You learn your lesson. If you get popped the second time, I don't give a damn, bruv. Lifetime ban. They need to start dishing out lifetime bans because boxing is a very dangerous sport, man. People are putting their lives on the line, man. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine if a fighter gets popped here for pads or whatever? They go silent for 12 months. Then the ban is lifted. They come back. We don't get to hear about what happened with the investigation, the findings or anything. The fighter gets back in the ring, yeah, has a fight, and the opponent dies. I mean, can you imagine what that's going to do to the sport? It's crazy. These guys need to pull their fingers out, man. Seriously. Take this shit serious. Please. Their lives at risk. This has to stop. There needs to be way much better transparency in the sport of boxing, man. Boxing really needs to clean his house out. Like, it needs to clean his house up. Seriously, clean the house, mate. Do you know what I mean? Start the whole shit again because it's just a mess. And I know it's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen because too much money involved, too much politics. Everyone's in it for themselves. No one cares about the boxing fans, man. Let's keep it real, man. They don't care. As long as they're making the millions, they don't care. Everything will just continue to get swept under the carpet. And the reputation of boxing will keep getting dragged through the mud. It will be in tatters. And you know what? One day, it's all going to come crashing down, mate. We need to think about the examples that we're giving to kids. You know, what type of examples is it for kids who are coming up if they're seeing fighters fail multiple drug tests and keep getting given opportunities to come back and have fights, big fights, earn millions? What type of example is that, man? It needs to stop, man. Seriously. That's all I wanted to say. That's my little rant done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, my people. Joseph Parker's back. Who would you see him fighting next? Who would you like to see him fighting next? There's so many fights out there for Joseph Parker. Do you think Joseph Parker will ever be a world champion again? Can he become 2 times world champion? Let me know in the comments. Also, this lack of transparency in boxing, lack of clarity, communication from the governing bodies, from people who actually run the sport, and the fighters themselves as well. You know what I mean? Our fighters also complicit in it. In the whole thing, our fighters to blame too for the lack of transparency. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, my people. I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGN Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo De Villiers. And again, please go ahead, smash the likes, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hype up the channel. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you again real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace out.